So I'm just going to show you now, having done our outer split stitching, our outer split stitching on these curves here. I'm going to show you how we're going to fill in this outer segment, and I'm using my balloon here to cover up the stitching that I've already done, because I don't want you to be distracted by what I've already done. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing straight stitches all the way up, bearing in mind that there's a curve, so you will have to adjust the way that your stitches work. So they need to be close together, but not rammed up close together. I'm just going to go halfway up here, just so that you can see how it looks, and then what our next process will be. So as you can see, I've had to adjust the spacing to get round this curve, so they're closer together on the inner curve and slightly wider apart on the outer, but I don't want them to be too wide. Having gone all the way up, what we want to be doing then is, what we'll actually be doing is we'll be starting right at the very beginning. Now I've not got the split stitching on this segment because I'm just showing you the process, but you would normally have the split stitching here, and when you're putting across these horizontal bands, you need to be burying the stitches underneath the split stitch, so we don't go through the split stitch, but we're hiding where we're working. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing needle weaving, which effectively is simply going over one and under the next. And this is where a crewel needle comes in handily, because as you can see, it's got a blunter end, and therefore it's less liable to actually pierce your wool that you're going under or over. So if you just use your needle to push him up, and then what you'll need to do is, you'll be working right the way up to the top, is you'll need to secure the wool, and then you'll be coming back down next to it. Obviously using alternately overs and unders opposite to the ones that you've just done. So they will push in once you've got more on there. So what you'll also find is, as I come back down here again, you'll see that I'll begin to run out of space, so I'll have to adjust the length of this stitch. So gradually my stitches will become shorter, because the run will be going on a shorter run. So it's important to start these long weaving stitches on the inner side of the circle, because that's where the stitch is going to be the longest. Okay, so I've abandoned that side now to show you the stitching that I've already done in the outer segment on the other side, and you can see that I've got the split stitch along the outside, both sides of the segment, and then this is what the weaving is going to look like by the time you've completed and kept everything pushed in together. So big reveal now. You'll see that when I did my outline to begin with, I had a lovely bump in the outer circle, which has meant that it's gone rather skewy. So that's why I was saying before, it's really important to get a good drawing to begin with, to work with. So if I take my balloon away now, you'll see that we have the original grid in dark, and then ultimately we're going to be using our light colour, which is the colour that I would be working in here, but I've used this simply on mock-up. But I'll be using this orange colour to then bring across a diagonal line just in one direction all the way across my grid. Having done the diagonal lines, I've then gone back and I've secured by a short straight stitch over each of the junctions where it crosses the grid. And it's important that when you're actually doing the grid lines, is that if you bring your needle up here, then with your needle in hand, just simply lay the wool across, and that will show you where your needle has got to go in on the opposite side. And again, bringing the needle out here, lay your wool across, and it will show you where your needle will need to go in at the other end. Having then done each of the catches all the way up, see here I haven't caught out yet, so those are just the straight stitches as they go across. You can then do the very last bit, which is the fun bit, and which is seed stitch. And all seed stitches is a series of small straight stitches, very small ones, which are random in direction, and which will fill in this last remaining segment here. Again, use your light colour to do that. And then for a little bit of joy, if you like, you can then add some small beads. These are random colours which are rolling around my box, but clearly if you find something that will complement or highlight your colour selection, then that's where we want to be. So there you go, there's the Fruitful Virus, and I look forward to seeing what you've done, and I'll hopefully have completed mine by the time we record again. Bye for now.